1968. What if a single penny from 1968, the same kind you might have spent on bubble gum or tucked away in an old coin jar, could be worth thousands today? Yes, that ordinary-looking 1968, no mint mark, Lincoln penny from your childhood could actually be one of the rarest treasures ever to slip through your fingers. Back in the late 1960s, America was changing fast, the space race was on, families gathered around black and white TVs, and pennies jingled in every kid's pocket. One man from Ohio, decades later, was sorting through his late father's coin collection when he spotted something strange, a 1968 penny without any mint mark beneath the date. He almost overlooked it, assuming it was just another worn coin. But when he took a closer look, he realized it wasn't from Denver or San Francisco, it was a rare Philadelphia issue, a survivor of a time when mint mark errors were just beginning to vanish from circulation. That one penny ended up being valued in the thousands. Here's what makes the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special. Normally, pennies struck in 1968 came from Denver, marked D, or San Francisco, marked S. But a small number were struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark at all, and these coins were produced in incredibly limited quantities with near-perfect detail and striking sharpness. The rarity comes from the combination of date, lack of mint mark, and exceptional condition. Collectors across the country are paying top dollar for high-grade examples, especially those with full details on Lincoln's coat and the Monticello design gleaming sharply under light. So many people had these coins in their hands and never knew. Some spent them on a cup of coffee, others gave them to children for candy, and countless more ended up tossed into coin jars, forgotten for decades. The sad truth is, those who didn't look closely missed out on something extraordinary. Imagine knowing that one penny you spent for a newspaper years ago could have been worth over $5,000 today. That's not just money lost, that's a piece of American history slipping away. If you have any 1968 Lincoln pennies, take a good look at the date and check beneath the numbers. If you don't see a mint mark, no tiny D or S, you might just be holding a rare Philadelphia strike. Turn it under a bright light and inspect the details. Lincoln's image should be crisp, his coat lines clear, and the edges strong. These are the telltale signs that your penny could be something truly remarkable. Be sure, always have your coin verified by trusted grading experts like PCGS or NGC. These professionals can confirm authenticity, assess the grade, and help you understand its true market value. Many collectors have turned simple pocket change into 4 or even 5 figures by getting their coins properly certified. So before you pass over that jar of old pennies or spend the one sitting in your drawer, take another look. That 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be the piece that changes everything, a hidden link to America's past and your own unexpected fortune. That old jar in your kitchen. It might just hold your future. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin tells a story, and history is waiting to be found in the palm of your hand. 1978. What if I told you that a single penny from 1978, one without any mint mark, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? Yes, that same copper coin that might be sitting forgotten in your old coffee can or tucked away in a drawer could actually hold a piece of American history and a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Back in 1978, America was changing. Gas was cheap, music was golden, and pennies still carried real copper and real meaning. One quiet afternoon, a young collector from Ohio named Robert stumbled upon a dull-looking penny in his father's coin jar. It looked ordinary, but something felt different. No mint mark under the date, just a clean 1978. Curious, he set it aside. Years later, that same penny turned out to be one of the few genuine 1978 no mint mark Lincoln cents, a variety struck in Philadelphia during a year when errors and minting quirks made a few coins mysteriously valuable. The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny stands out because it represents one of those rare moments in minting history when tiny imperfections turned everyday coins into collectors' dreams. While Philadelphia traditionally didn't use a mint mark, certain die errors, misstrikes, and condition-based variations from that year make these coins incredibly sought after. Pristine examples in high grades, especially those with sharp details and rich red luster, have sold for impressive sums at auctions and continue to rise in value as collectors compete to complete their sets. Many people have unknowingly spent these pennies over the years, slipping them into vending machines or using them for change without realizing what they held in their hands. Imagine giving away a penny that could have paid for a month's rent, just because it looked ordinary. That's the beauty and heartbreak of coin collecting. Treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a bit of curiosity to spot them. So, if you come across a 1978 penny, hold it up to the light. It should read 1978 with no mint mark below the date. Lincoln's portrait should be clear, with sharp lines around his hair and jacket. The reverse side should show Monticello crisply defined, with E pluribus unum and United States of America standing out cleanly. A coin in uncirculated or near-perfect condition could bring in far more than you'd ever expect for a single cent. If you think you found one, get it verified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, and even give you a certification that proves its true value to collectors and buyers. That old jar of pennies in your kitchen, the one collecting dust in the corner. It might just hold a piece of American history, and your next big discovery. Every coin has a story, and every story has value. So before you spend it, take a closer look. Who knows, your next penny could be the one everyone's been searching for. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find history hiding in plain sight. 1979. What if I told you that a single penny from 1979, one that looks just like every other, could be worth thousands of dollars today? That's right, a plain-looking 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind that might still be sitting in your old change jar, has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors across America. It's not just about the money, it's about holding a small, shining piece of history in your hand. Picture this: an older gentleman in Ohio was sorting through his late father's coin collection, dusty jars, old cigar boxes, the works. He thought he'd seen it all until one coin caught the light differently. It was a 1979 penny, but something felt off. No mint mark. Curious, he took it to a local coin shop. The appraiser's eyes widened. He'd found one of the rare Philadelphia-struck 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies in pristine condition. What most people would have spent on a pack of gum decades ago turned out to be worth more than his monthly mortgage payment. So what makes this coin so valuable? In 1979, most Lincoln pennies were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, but very few survived in uncirculated or proof-like condition. Many were quickly used, worn, and forgotten. What makes the 1979 no-mint mark penny stand out is its sharp strike, flawless luster, and perfect preservation. Collectors across the U.S. are now paying top dollar for these coins in high grades certified by PCGS and NGC. Some have even crossed the $1,000 mark, all because someone had the foresight to keep that simple penny safe. Think about how many people spent these pennies without ever knowing what they had. Some were tossed in candy machines, some lost in couch cushions, and some used to pay for morning coffee. Every one of those spent coins was a missed opportunity, a tiny piece of treasure hiding in plain sight. The next one could be in your home, tucked away since the late 70s, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. The beauty of the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is that it doesn't need to scream rarity, it hides it quietly. You'll find Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front and the Monticello design on the back, cleanly struck and sharply detailed. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. If your coin still shines with that original copper-red tone, free of scratches or wear, you might be holding something extraordinary. If you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. A professional certification not only confirms its authenticity but can also multiply its value when it comes time to sell or display. So tonight, before you turn in, take a look inside that old coffee tin or drawer where the coins have been resting for decades. Because one of them, that shiny 1979 no-mint mark penny, could be the small piece of luck you've been waiting for. Every coin has a story, and yours might just be the next great American treasure. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover history, one coin at a time. 1984. What if I told you there's a single penny from 1984 that could change your life, a coin so ordinary looking, you might have spent it on a stick of gum decades ago, yet today, collectors are offering thousands for it. It's called the 1984 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and it's one of the most mysterious and sought-after modern treasures in U.S. coin history. Picture this: a retired schoolteacher in Ohio, cleaning out an old coffee can full of coins her late husband used to collect. Most were ordinary, dull, worn-out cents from the 70s and 80s. But one caught her eye. The date read 1984, and something felt different. No mint mark under the date. Curious, she held on to it. Weeks later, a local coin dealer told her that this wasn't just a regular penny, it was an error coin, one of only a handful known to exist. That humble coin, once lost in pocket change, turned out to be worth more than her monthly pension check. The 1984 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is special because it lacks the small mint letter that tells us where it was made. Most 1984 pennies carry a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But this one? Nothing at all. The missing mark happened due to a rare die error at the Philadelphia Mint, a mistake that slipped into circulation and became a collector's dream. Combine that with its age, brilliant detail, and low survival numbers, and you've got one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cents in existence. Some have sold for hundreds, while pristine examples have been valued in the thousands. Many people have already let this coin slip through their hands without realizing its worth. It's heartbreaking. Collectors tell stories of people who cashed in jars of pennies at the bank, never knowing one of them could have paid their bills for a month or two. Don't let that happen to you. Every penny in your home deserves a second look, especially those from the 1980s, because one small oversight could cost you a small fortune. So, what should you look for? Focus on the date, 1984. Hold it under good light and check below the year. You should see no mint mark at all, just smooth copper. Examine Lincoln's portrait closely. The details around his hair and collar should be sharp and clear, as genuine examples are usually well struck. If it looks right, set it aside carefully. Once you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and grade it officially. A certified coin not only protects your find but can also multiply its value when you decide to sell. That jar of old pennies sitting in your kitchen cabinet? It might just hold a piece of forgotten American history, and maybe even your next big payday. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth far more than a single cent. So, take a look, stay curious, and never underestimate the little things hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the secrets of America's rare coins, and maybe, just maybe, your own hidden fortune. 1986. What if I told you that a single penny from 1986, one that looks just like the one sitting in your change jar, could be worth thousands of dollars today? A coin so ordinary, yet so mysterious, that collectors all across America are searching day and night just to find it. This isn't a myth or a rumor, it's real. And it's called the 1986 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Back in 1986, millions of pennies rolled out of the U.S. Mint, a time when the Lincoln cent was already a symbol of America's hard work and history. But among those countless coins, a few special ones slipped through the cracks, missing the tiny mint mark that told where they came from. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Nothing at all. Just a blank space beneath the date. One day, a man in Ohio found one while cleaning out his late father's old coin jar. The coin looked ordinary, but when he compared it to others, something was off. That missing mint mark turned out to be his golden ticket, a rare 1986 No Mint Mark Monticello Lincoln penny that sold for several $1,000s at auction. Here's what makes this penny so incredible. Every Lincoln penny from 1986 was supposed to bear a mint mark showing where it was made, usually D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But due to a rare and highly uncommon minting error, a few were struck without any mark at all. That tiny missing letter transformed an everyday penny into a collector's dream. It's the kind of coin that proves even the smallest imperfection can turn a piece of pocket change into a national treasure. imagine finding one of these pennies years ago and using it to buy a piece of candy. Many did, and they'll never know the fortune they held in their hand. These coins passed through gas stations, grocery stores, and piggy banks unnoticed. Today, collectors would give almost anything to own one. Don't let that be your story. Don't let another rare coin slip through your fingers because you didn't know what to look for. The key is simple: the date must read 1986, and there should be no mint mark under the year. Look closely at the space just below the date. If it's completely blank, you may have one of the rarest Lincoln pennies ever struck. It still shows Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the back, but that missing mint mark makes all the difference. That if you believe you found one, don't clean it, don't spend it, get it verified. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm authenticity and value, and the right certification can turn your find into a serious collector's prize. That old jar of pennies in your kitchen or your father's dusty drawer in the garage, they could be holding more than memories. They could be holding a hidden fortune. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that history hides in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice. So before you toss away another penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding the next big discovery. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin tells a story, and every story could change your life. 1987. What if I told you there's a simple Lincoln penny from 1987, one you might have spent without a second thought, that's now turning heads in the coin world and selling for thousands? Imagine this: a coin you held in your hand decades ago, lost in the shuffle of time, now being hunted by collectors across the country. The 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of copper, it's a hidden treasure born from a rare minting mystery. It all started with a simple mistake, or perhaps fate, inside the Philadelphia Mint back in 1987. Millions of ordinary pennies rolled off the presses, but among them were a few extraordinary ones that carried no mint mark at all. To most people, it looked like any regular penny, Lincoln's familiar face, the humble, "In God we trust," nothing unusual. But for one coin collector in Ohio, that tiny missing letter meant everything. He found it tucked away in an old coffee can of change his father had kept since the 80s. When he had it examined, he couldn't believe what he heard. This isn't just any penny, this is a rare 1987 no mint mark Monticello penny, one of the few known examples in existence. That single discovery turned a family memory into a small fortune. So what makes this coin so special? In 1987, most pennies from the Denver Mint were stamped with a small D mint mark, while those from Philadelphia typically had none, but the key is in the error pattern and the coin's flawless strike quality. Some 1987 no mint mark Lincoln pennies were struck with such precision and luster, free of the usual wear and tear, that collectors began realizing these were something extraordinary, rare examples of near-perfect minting, and extremely hard to find in uncirculated condition today. High-grade versions certified by PCGS and NGC have fetched incredible prices at auction, especially those with sharp details and that beautiful original red tone. Over the years, countless people have spent these valuable pennies unknowingly. Imagine buying a soda with a coin that could have paid off your car loan today. Many collectors still recall stories of cashing in jars of old coins without checking them, a decision they now deeply regret. That's the thing about treasure, it doesn't always come wrapped in gold. Sometimes, it's a penny you spent 30 years ago. If you ever find a 1987 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date, just a clean 1987 with nothing below it. Examine the shine and condition. A bright, uncirculated surface is your best clue. Check Lincoln's details, especially the sharpness of his beard and jacket. If it looks unusually crisp or flawless, you might be holding something special. Before you get too excited, always have it checked by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin and determine its true market value, and believe me, a verified 1987 no mint mark penny in top condition can surprise even seasoned collectors. So tonight, when you open that old change jar or sort through that box of memories in your drawer, take a second look. The coin that once bought a piece of gum might just buy you a dream vacation today. These coins are out there, waiting to be rediscovered by someone who believes in history, luck, and the magic of small things. Remember, every coin tells a story, and yours might be worth more than you ever imagined. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find history hiding in plain sight. 1988. What if I told you that a simple 1988 Lincoln penny, the kind you might have once handed to a cashier without a second thought, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that ordinary copper coin bearing Lincoln's face and the D mint mark from Denver has become one of the most talked about modern treasures in the coin collecting world. Every day, people are discovering these pennies tucked away in jars, drawers, and old wallets, and realizing they've been holding a small piece of American history and fortune all along. That it all began with a collector in Colorado, a retired machinist who'd spent his evenings sorting through coins just for fun. One night, under the dim glow of his desk lamp, he spotted something strange on a 1988 penny. The lettering seemed slightly different, and the details on Lincoln's portrait looked older, almost like it belonged to a coin from another year. He sent it off for verification, and to his shock, experts confirmed it was a transitional design error, a rare combination of the 1988 Denver strike with the reverse design meant for 1989. That little coin, worth just 1 cent for decades, sold for thousands at auction. The 1988 Lincoln penny became legendary because of a fascinating minting mix-up. During the transition between the 1988 and 1989 coin designs, some 1988 coins were accidentally struck using an older, reverse die that carried the design details from 1987. This subtle mistake created one of the most collectible modern errors in U.S. coinage. While most people overlook it, trained eyes and passionate collectors know that tiny difference can mean the world. Coins in high grade, with sharp details and clear mint marks, have been fetching impressive prices, making this penny a star among modern-era finds. Many people have unknowingly spent these valuable 1988 pennies in vending machines, coin rolls, or store counters, never realizing they gave away something that could have paid for a vacation, or even a used car. It's a bittersweet reminder that sometimes fortune doesn't hide far away in gold mines or treasure chests, it jingles quietly in our pockets, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. If you happen to have a 1988 penny, check the mint mark right below the date. It should show a small D for Denver. Then, turn it over and study the reverse side closely. You'll want to see the fine details of Monticello and the lettering style that looks like it came from an earlier design. That's your golden clue. The sharper the condition and the clearer the strike, the higher the potential value. To confirm if you've truly found the rare 1988 variety, get it professionally graded by trusted organizations like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate your coin, assess its condition, and help you unlock its real market worth. So before you dismiss that old coffee can full of change or the coin jar gathering dust on your shelf, take another look. That one penny you've had since childhood might just be your ticket to an unexpected fortune. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes, those stories can change lives. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover history and hidden wealth, one coin at a time. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest value. 2006. What if I told you that a single penny from 2006, a coin you might have held in your hand, or even spent without a second thought, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that little copper-colored Lincoln penny with a tiny D under the date might just be one of the most sought-after treasures hiding in plain sight across America. It all began with a story out of Denver, a man sorting through a handful of loose change he'd kept in a jar since the early 2000s. He wasn't looking for anything special, just reliving old memories of simpler times. But as he flipped through each coin, one penny caught his eye. The shine was different. The strike looked off. A closer look revealed a minting flaw so subtle, yet so powerful, that it turned this common 2006 Lincoln cent into something truly extraordinary. That single moment, an ordinary man, an ordinary coin, became a reminder that history often hides where we least expect it. The 2006 Lincoln 1 cent isn't just another pocket coin. Some of these pennies left the Denver Mint with rare and dramatic errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and even wrong planchet varieties where the penny was struck on a dime's metal blank. A few of these have sold for astonishing prices, reaching into the tens of thousands. Collectors around the world are hunting them, and the demand has only grown as more people rediscover the beauty and mystery of US minting history. Imagine, a penny from 2006, something so new compared to older classics, now commanding serious attention in coin auctions. But here's the heartbreaking part: many people have already spent these treasures without ever realizing it. Some were given as change at grocery stores, others tossed into parking meters or handed to children for bubble gum. Each time, a small piece of American history slipped quietly away. Think about that, a rare coin, potentially worth thousands, exchanged for a single cent's worth of value. It's a reminder to slow down, to look closer, and to cherish the little things that connect us to the past. So, if you happen to have a jar of old change sitting in your kitchen or a coffee can of pennies in the garage, take another look. Focus on the 2006 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark just below the date. Examine its edges, its strike, and the details of Lincoln's face and the words, "In God We Trust." If anything looks off, doubled lettering, unusual shine, or even a slightly different metal tone, you might be holding one of the rarest modern pennies ever made. If you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and condition, and a certified grade can dramatically increase its market value. Many collectors also consult trusted local coin dealers or online appraisal services to be sure they're handling a genuine treasure. The truth is, fortune doesn't always come in gold or silver, sometimes, it hides in copper. That jar sitting in your kitchen, the one filled with pennies you've been meaning to cash in? It might just hold your future. Take a moment to look. Because every coin tells a story, and yours might be worth more than you ever imagined. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find history hiding in plain sight. 1967. What if I told you that an ordinary-looking penny from 1967, the kind you might have once dropped into a gumball machine, could today be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, a single cent, minted during one of America's most eventful decades, could hold the kind of value that changes lives for collectors. This isn't just about metal and copper, it's about history, rarity, and the quiet treasures hiding in plain sight. Back in 1967, America was changing fast. The Beatles ruled the radio, families gathered around black and white TVs, and pocket change actually meant something. People didn't know it then, but among the millions of pennies struck that year, a few carried something extraordinary, a subtle minting variation that would one day turn them into collector's gold. Imagine a young man in 1967 tossing one of these special Lincoln pennies into his change jar, never knowing that decades later, collectors would pay thousands to have it. It's one of those magical moments in history where time and chance meet, and one tiny coin becomes a legend. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stands out because it was part of a unique year in U.S. mint history. In an effort to discourage coin hoarding, the U.S. Mint decided not to use mint marks at all that year, meaning every 1967 penny looks like it came from Philadelphia. But what most people don't realize is that a handful of these coins were struck with slight planchet or die errors, subtle flaws, tiny imperfections, or double strikes that make them incredibly rare. A perfectly preserved example in high grade, especially one with a visible die error or full strike, can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors are constantly searching for these, and their demand continues to rise as fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation. Over the years, countless people have unknowingly spent or traded away these valuable coins. Imagine cleaning out an old drawer or rolling up spare change for the bank, not realizing one of those pennies could have paid for a dream vacation or even a new car. Stories surface all the time about collectors discovering rare 1967 pennies in jars, toolboxes, or family keepsakes, often decades after they were last touched. Every time someone overlooks one, it's like watching a piece of history slip quietly away. So, what makes this coin stand out? The 1967 penny should feature the familiar Lincoln portrait on the front and the Monticello design on the reverse, but the key is its flawless condition and striking details. Collectors look for strong luster, crisp lines, and most importantly, no mint mark under the date. Some rare examples even display unique doubling or planchet flaws, making them exceptionally desirable to grading experts and high-end collectors. If you find one that looks unusual or sharper than most, it's worth a closer look that if you believe you found a 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be valuable, the best thing to do is get it professionally graded by trusted services like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, and even help determine its true market value. Many collectors have turned small discoveries into major finds simply by having their coins verified. That old jar of change in your kitchen, the one that's been sitting untouched for years, it might just be holding your next great treasure. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than its face value. So, before you spend that old penny, take a second look. It could be history in your hands. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the hidden wealth of America's past. A single penny, one coin you might have seen jingling in your pocket back in the early 70s, could be worth thousands today. Imagine a simple copper coin, marked with an S beneath Lincoln's portrait, quietly carrying a story of mystery, minting precision, and the kind of rarity collectors dream about. The 1971 S. Lincoln penny, often overlooked, often spent, has become one of the most talked about treasures in American numismatics. Picture this, it's 1971 in San Francisco. The Vietnam War is still echoing in headlines, gas costs just 35 cents a gallon, and Americans are filling their pockets with new Lincoln pennies from the mint. Among millions struck, a handful carried something extraordinary, a level of perfection so rare, it would take 50 years for collectors to truly appreciate it. Years later, a retired man sorting through his old coin jars found one of these 1971 S-proof pennies, nearly flawless, untouched by time. When he sent it to be graded, the result stunned even seasoned experts. A deep cameo proof so pristine, it sold for over $2,000 at auction. The 1971 S. Lincoln penny stands out because it was minted in San Francisco as a proof coin, not meant for circulation, but for collectors. These coins were struck multiple times with specially polished dies, creating that mirror-like background and sharp, frosted details on Lincoln's face. But only a small number of these proofs achieved the perfect, deep cameo contrast, making them exceptionally rare and highly sought after today. The S beneath the date confirms its origin, and the clarity of the strike determines its value, some flawless examples fetching thousands from serious collectors. Countless Americans once held these coins in proof sets or inherited them from relatives, unaware of their growing worth. Many were spent, melted, or left to tarnish in attics and drawers. Imagine knowing that a coin you once handled absent-mindedly could now pay for a family vacation, or even part of a new car. It's a reminder that history doesn't always announce its value, sometimes it hides quietly in your change jar. The key lies in the details. A bright, mirror-like surface. Frosted, high-relief details on Lincoln and the lettering. The clear S mint mark just below the date, that's your sign. If it looks flawless to your eyes, it's worth a second look from a professional. These coins are not just copper, they're time capsules from an era when craftsmanship met American pride at the mint. That if you think you've got one, the next step is simple: get it authenticated by professionals like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm whether your penny holds that coveted, deep cameo status and reveal its true market value. And in today's market, collectors are actively hunting for high-grade 1971 S-proof pennies, paying top dollar for perfect examples. So before you dismiss those old proof sets or that dusty coin album in your drawer, take one more look. That little 1971 S penny could be more than a memory, it could be a masterpiece of minting history waiting to change your life. Because sometimes, the past doesn't just tell stories, it rewards those who listen. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the hidden history and hidden fortune waiting in your own home. 1978. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, the same kind you might have once used to buy a stick of gum, could now be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But there's a hidden treasure in the 1978 Lincoln penny, and only a handful of collectors know the truth behind its incredible rise in value. Back in the late 1970s, when gas was cheap, music was soulful, and America was changing fast, the Denver Mint struck millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, the kind jingling in every kid's pocket. But every now and then, one coin came out, different. A small, subtle error in minting, a unique texture, or a doubled design created a rarity that would one day captivate collectors around the world. One such penny, forgotten in a small box for decades, was recently rediscovered by an elderly man going through his late father's coin jar. To his surprise, that simple 1978 D penny, dull with age, was valued at over $3,000, a reminder that sometimes, history hides right under our noses. So, what makes the 1978 D Lincoln penny so special? It's all about precision, or rather, the lack of it. Certain coins from the Denver Mint show sharp doubling on the date and lettering, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. Others have striking off-center errors or unusual die rotations that make them stand out instantly to expert eyes. Because only a limited number of these were ever released into circulation, collectors are now paying serious money to own one. As the years pass and fewer examples remain in pristine condition, the demand for high-grade, error-free, or uniquely struck 1978 D pennies keeps climbing. Imagine for a moment, how many people unknowingly spent these rare pennies over the years. How many parents handed them to a child to buy candy, never realizing they'd just given away a small fortune. It's a haunting thought. Coins like this often slip through generations, tossed into jars, spent at stores, or lost in drawers. But today, collectors are hunting for them with renewed passion, and prices are climbing fast. Missing your chance now could mean missing one of the most exciting discoveries of your lifetime. When you hold a 1978 penny in your hand, check carefully for the D mint mark just below the date. That's the Denver strike, the one creating all the buzz. Look for any doubling on the numbers or letters, and pay attention to details like unusual spacing or faint misalignments. The texture, luster, and strike quality all play a part in determining value. The key is to look closely. Sometimes, the difference between a penny and a payday is just a tiny detail hidden in plain sight that if you believe you found one, don't rush to sell it. Take it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate, grade, and certify your coin, turning it from a maybe into a verified treasure. With certification, collectors trust the value, and you can command a much higher price in today's growing market. So before you pass by that old coffee can of coins or overlook that dusty penny jar on your shelf, take another look. You might be sitting on a piece of American history, one that tells the story of an era, a family, and a time when every penny truly mattered. That small 1978 D Lincoln penny could be your hidden reward waiting to shine again. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the history, the value, and the wonder hiding in your own collection. Because sometimes, the past still has a price, and it's worth every penny. 1981. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1981, the same kind you might have tossed into a coffee can or change jar decades ago, could now be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? This isn't just any penny, it's a mysterious 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that's turning the heads of collectors all across America. And here's the wild part, most people who have one don't even know it. Picture this, a retired gentleman from Ohio cleaning out his late father's coin collection. Nothing fancy, just an old cigar box filled with pennies and nickels. But one coin caught his eye, a 1981 penny missing something, the tiny mint mark under the date. He almost dismissed it, but curiosity got the better of him. He took it to a local dealer, and that one penny, the same kind he'd spent all his life, turned out to be a rare no-mint mark Philadelphia error worth over $2,000 in pristine condition. That moment wasn't just about money, it was about rediscovering a piece of history hidden in plain sight. So what makes the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? In 1981, most pennies were struck with a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a limited batch came out of the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all, and some of these were struck with sharper detail, cleaner fields, and early die impressions that collectors now hunt for feverishly. Combine that with the transition to new die varieties and the pre-1982 solid copper composition, and you've got a coin that's both historically significant and materially valuable. It's the last full year before the U.S. Mint switched to the cheaper zinc pennies we see today, making 1981 a final chapter in an era of true copper coinage. Countless people have spent these little treasures without ever realizing their worth. Imagine the heartbreak of knowing you once handed over a coin worth a small fortune just to pay for a cup of coffee. Some collectors have even shared stories of finding one, only to misplace it years later, never knowing what it could have been worth. That's the kind of regret no coin lover should ever feel. When you pick up a 1981 penny, look closely. You won't see a D or an S beneath the date. That's your first clue. The shine, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, and the crispness of the word Liberty can all hint at a high-grade example. If it's bright, clean, and untouched by time, you could be holding something truly special, a coin every serious collector is searching for. If you think you found one, don't guess, have it verified by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm its authenticity, condition, and market value. A certified coin doesn't just carry a story, it carries a guarantee, and that can turn an ordinary penny into a genuine investment. So the next time you open that old coin jar or dig through a drawer filled with spare change, take a second look. That worn little penny from your childhood might not just be a memory, it could be a treasure waiting to change your life. Because in the world of collecting, history often hides where we least expect it. 1982. What if I told you that a simple 1982 penny, the kind you probably have tucked away in an old coffee can or resting quietly in your dresser drawer, could be worth thousands of dollars today? Yes, one tiny, no-mint mark 1982 Lincoln penny has stunned collectors across the country, turning everyday change into a small fortune. Back in 1982, the United States Mint made one of the biggest transitions in coinage history, switching the classic Lincoln penny from solid copper to a cheaper zinc core. It seemed like a simple change at the time, but little did anyone know that this year would create one of the most fascinating and valuable modern rarities in American coin collecting. In small towns across America, people spent these coins without a second thought, at grocery stores, diners, gas stations. One man from Illinois reportedly found a 1982 no-mint mark penny in his father's old change jar years later, and that single discovery changed his life. The mystery lies in the details. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny from the Philadelphia Mint can be found in two versions, one made of copper and another of zinc. But here's the twist, only a handful of these rare copper versions without a mint mark were ever struck before the full transition to zinc. Collectors consider them among the holy grails of modern pennies. Depending on condition and metal composition, this coin has been known to sell for thousands of dollars. A simple penny that carries the weight of history and a story worth retelling. Imagine someone decades ago, tossing that rare 1982 no-mint mark penny into a vending machine for a pack of gum, never realizing it could one day pay for a family vacation or even more. Countless people have spent small fortunes without knowing it, their treasures vanishing back into circulation. That's the magic and the heartbreak of coin collecting. You never know what you might have already let slip through your fingers. If you have any 1982 pennies, hold on to them. The first thing you'll notice is the date, 1982, with no little mint letter beneath it. Feel its weight, the copper version is heavier than the zinc one. The color, the sound when dropped on a table, even the way it shines, all tiny clues that could point to something extraordinary hiding in your hand. When you think you found one, don't second-guess yourself. Have it tested by a trusted coin expert or grading service like PCGS or NGC. These professionals can confirm if it's the genuine 1982 no-mint mark copper penny, the kind that collectors are actively hunting and paying top dollar for in today's market. So before you spend that old penny, take a closer look. The next great discovery might not be buried in a field or hidden in a vault, it could be sitting quietly in your change jar, waiting for someone with a curious eye to notice it. That small coin in your hand could hold a piece of American history, and your future. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the stories, and the fortune, hiding in plain sight. 2006. What if I told you that a single penny from 2006, a coin you might have held in your hand, or even spent without a second thought, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that little copper-colored Lincoln penny with a tiny D under the date might just be one of the most sought-after treasures hiding in plain sight across America. It all began with a story out of Denver, a man sorting through a handful of loose change he'd kept in a jar since the early 2000s. He wasn't looking for anything special, just reliving old memories of simpler times. But as he flipped through each coin, one penny caught his eye. The shine was different. The strike looked off. A closer look revealed a minting flaw so subtle, yet so powerful, that it turned this common 2006 D. Lincoln cent into something truly extraordinary. That single moment, an ordinary man, an ordinary coin, became a reminder that history often hides where we least expect it. The 2006 D. Lincoln 1 cent isn't just another pocket coin. Some of these pennies left the Denver Mint with rare and dramatic errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and even wrong planchet varieties where the penny was struck on a dime's metal blank. A few of these have sold for astonishing prices, reaching into the tens of thousands. Collectors around the world are hunting them, and the demand has only grown as more people rediscover the beauty and mystery of U.S. minting history. Imagine, a penny from 2006, something so new compared to older classics, now commanding serious attention in coin auctions. But here's the heartbreaking part: many people have already spent these treasures without ever realizing it. Some were given as change at grocery stores, others tossed into parking meters or handed to children for bubble gum. Each time, a small piece of American history slipped quietly away. Think about that, a rare coin, potentially worth thousands, exchanged for a single cent's worth of value. It's a reminder to slow down, to look closer, and to cherish the little things that connect us to the past. So, if you happen to have a jar of old change sitting in your kitchen or a coffee can of pennies in the garage, take another look. Focus on the 2006 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark just below the date. Examine its edges, its strike, and the details of Lincoln's face and the words, "In God We Trust." If anything looks off, doubled lettering, unusual shine, or even a slightly different metal tone, you might be holding one of the rarest modern pennies ever made. If you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and condition, and a certified grade can dramatically increase its market value. Many collectors also consult trusted local coin dealers or online appraisal services to be sure they're handling a genuine treasure. The truth is, fortune doesn't always come in gold or silver, sometimes, it hides in copper. That jar sitting in your kitchen, the one filled with pennies you've been meaning to cash in? It might just hold your future. Take a moment to look. Because every coin tells a story, and yours might be worth more than you ever imagined. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find history hiding in plain sight.